More death and destruction in Gaza this morning as Israeli aircraft hit at least 45 targets today. This as a rally for peace last night here in Memphis. Hundreds of people crammed into Temple, Israel to show their support for Jews living amidst the constant rocket attacks by the group Hamas. The attacks on Israel and the fighting in Gaza has claimed hundreds of lives. Most of those are Palestinian lives, however. And I should say that there is a Palestinian rally Saturday at Highland and Poplar here in Memphis. So we have folks on both sides of this. Luke Vargas joins us live from New York City, where he's a UN bureau chief for Talk Radio News Service. Luke, good morning to you.
Good morning.
And as we get started this morning, today we're hoping to hear Israel's Security Cabinet plans to meet to consider an international ceasefire. What is the reality of this actually happening? A ceasefire.
There is every indication at this moment that the announcement of a ceasefire could be imminent, perhaps within the next hour. Here are what appear to be the contours of the deal. It would be a one-week temporary ceasefire between Israel and Hamas, with a carve-out sort of for each party. Israel's defense forces would still be allowed to conduct operations against tunnels between Gaza and Israel, whereas Egypt, giving a concession, I guess, to Palestine and Hamas, in this case, would open the border crossing between Egypt and Palestine, which has been blockaded for months now.
There's so much violence over there. Why can't the UN, they've got a presence on the ground, why can't they do more? Or can they?
I think there are two reasons why it's difficult. The first has to do with the nature of the battleground. A lot of the military targets within Gaza are just close to civilian population points, whether by accident or intentionally. So there are going to be casualties for civilians, and that's very disturbing. The other one has to do with the UN's own capacity. Look, they're on the ground. They are protecting, I believe, over 140,000 people at various compounds. So on the surface, it looks like a regular peacekeeping operation. But the UN in Palestine does not have a peacekeeping contingent. They don't have the ability to protect civilians like they do in other countries, let's say South Sudan. And so just a few days ago, a good example of this was that rockets were found in a United Nations administered school in Gaza. They tried to evacuate this school, but they were only able to find one guard to protect the facility overnight. The facility was stormed. When the UN had a chance to go and see where those munitions and explosives were, they had disappeared. So there is
Okay, that's Luke Vargas in New York. We're losing our satellite signal there again. He's with Talk Radio up in New York, the UN reporter, and he says that there is every possibility there could be a temporary ceasefire at some point later today. We, of course, are keeping on this, and we will let you know. All right, folks, we'll be right back.